Good morning, traders and investors. This is Jay Sung. Welcome to our chart room. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. If you want weekly updates, I'll be doing my best to post new content, letting you know what's going on with Bitcoin, letting you know what's going on with XRP, as far as the charts go, and why I call the crash the beginning of the biggest crash, uh, or the final leg of the crash for Bitcoin on July 10th. And XRP's crash on July 10th, down to 0.25 cents to 0.35 cents. Why I believe that? People call me crazy. Some people called me bold, but I also was the same guy who called the Bitcoin at 56,000, along with signals along the way. And if you would love to join us, follow us on Telegram. Okay, this is the link up here in the description right here. Just follow that link. You'll also see it in the description area of this tab. We would love to have you. What you do is you just click on the pins at the top. You're going to see something called pinned in the chat room. Just click on the pin and you'll immediately be taken to my last post. I will not always be posting when we hit updated targets on YouTube, but I do place them. If I make a signal, I do place those signals in the chart room with updated. However, just so you know, this is not financial advice, not to be taken seriously. Everything you hear, see is for just educational and comedic purposes only. Keep in mind, I eat crayons, and I recommend the cherry flavored red kind. They taste very, very delicious, and you should try it. Okay, but again, not to be taken seriously. If you get a tummy ache, it's on you. Okay, so let's get right into it. What's been happening? Um, so a few things have been happening. I'll put a simple clip, a picture right now.
This picture is of XRP July 9th. This is a call. Monday, July 12th for the second call without hitting its target because it's the beginning. Bitcoin July 10th and Bitcoin July 12th. Second call without hitting target because it's beginning. And then later in the day, July 12th. Okay.
If you haven't seen my videos before, you really need to watch them. You really need to pay attention to those previous videos so you can understand, because markets happen in like a story, okay? And they tell a story of what's happening. They'll either tell us if price is weak or if it's strong. And then each of those prices will actually tell a story as well. Okay, and you can understand just by watching what price is actually doing. Okay, let me zoom in a little bit so you can see closer. If you're paying attention to what price is doing, you can become very successful. You won't have to worry about getting whipsawed, losing so much of your money. We trade using the sword method, and so that way when you see what's happening, you won't be so confused about what's happening with price. Okay, so I'm like a navigator. What I do is I'm a technical analyst, and what I do is I post chart maps. So I draw on the chart so you can understand what's happening, and then I read volume spread analysis, pretty decent, so I can understand and describe to you what's going on as well. Okay, so here is what's been going on today. Okay, so please watch my previous videos and you'll see why I made all of those calls I did on XRP and Bitcoin. Okay, and why we are Bitcoin will crash. I don't believe Bitcoin will recover once it hits $4,000 to $5,000. We are going to be going to the $4,000 to $5,000 range. I believe I don't have the price here for this right now, but maybe I'll show it to you at the end of the video. I do post that in the chat room, the actual target number with the flag at the bottom. So yesterday, sorry, the last few days here, I had called XRP down to 58 cents. Actually, I'm sorry, I called it here on July 14th. Okay, down to 55.88. We have not moved this target. Okay, there's a lot of reasons why I believe we're going there. And then yesterday, it was really funny because everyone's like, when do we get the confirmation? When do we get the confirmation? And I was I was at the restaurant eating, and I posted, oh yeah, well, there's 10 minutes left for the confirmation, and so I posted that confirmation on I think it was like a 2 hour chart, or 1 hour chart, and when I posted the confirmation, we went immediately there within like the first like 5 minutes. I think it was less than 5 minutes. Um, I nearly spit out my water because of how fast we hit our target. Okay, where price intersects these lines, guys, they're very, very powerful. So you really want to be paying attention to my videos so you can know these areas where price intersects, okay? Those areas are like magnets for price. And I see them all the time using the sword method. You're going to see that a lot. And that's the method that I created over 19 years of trading. I tried to understand charts. 10 to 11 years was very unsuccessful. I didn't become successful in getting a good trade rate until until the 11th year, and I started doing that in forex. And then just about a year or so ago, I started applying that same method to the cryptocurrency world very successfully. So here we go. Sorry, without much delay, let's read price. I'm going to turn on volume spread analysis and give you the update on why we're going back to 55.88. I believe we're going to shatter the floor and hit down lower, but the overall target for right now is actually 52.56. Okay. Why are we going to hit 52.56 on XRP? Why are we going there? So I'm going to turn on my object tree. I'm going to go and load my volume again. Okay. So I already showed you that there's major weaknesses in the background. And now what I'm going to show you is that uh, we have some major support at this area, our sell signal. Okay, let's go to a 1 hour chart. You can see this. Okay, normally I'm trading using a 4 hour chart, but for the purposes of this video, our last video discussed the shakeout, and I told everybody, please do not be fooled. We were looking here, and I was telling everybody, don't be fooled by a shakeout. Where was that 4 hour chart? Okay, I was telling everybody, guys, there's going to be a major shakeout. Here it was. Okay, right there. During our live filming, I told everybody we should be going up to that area where price intersects, and then we should bounce down. And this intersection was here. Okay, so I told everybody we're going to be going to that intersection, and then we're going to be going down. So we have been going down. Okay, this doesn't surprise me because I understand what's been happening with price. You can see all the weakness in the background. It's not hard to see. And so what you do is you can categorize all of that in one move. So we see weakness back here, weakness, weakness, selling, 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 selling. And then when we come to this point, we see an intersection. It was a shakeout. Early in the day, we were already having pre-shakeouts. And I was describing to everybody using the volume spread analysis. So you can please watch that video so you can learn yourself what's actually happening, that we were getting a shakeout here, and then don't be surprised when you see this massive shakeout. Now, the thing that threw me off a little bit was this candle here when I saw such huge volume down and up. Now, normally this is a buy signal. However, we still were in the underside of this major trend. And when I saw shakeouts in the background, shakeouts always, almost always, always, always mean price will continue doing whatever it was doing in the beginning. So if price was coming down, okay, and then it shakes out, that means it's going to continue going down. So when you see a shakeout, you should assume by default price will continue down. Now that's not always the case. Sometimes it can be actually a reversal candle, reversal building up. But I don't see that, and I didn't see that. And reading the volume spread analysis in that video told me that just as quickly as you see this up move here with the shakeout in the background, and you can see that same pattern falling, showing as a shakeout going down. And sure enough, this down candle, look at the volume on this level compared to the previous shakeout. It was even higher than these previous shakeouts. All during the day, this was shakeout. So I would mark that with an S, the shakeout area. shakeout. So now we read this, this area, I'm sorry, right here, yeah, that area, and this is major selling because of the because of what we see, and I'll show you that, okay? Because I didn't cover that in the video, okay? I covered it in our chat room. I think I covered this one in our chat room. I'm going to do it now. We were expecting price to break through to the 50 to this line, and when we saw this long candle here, okay, this red one right there, that one right there, where this signal is, I placed this signal on the chart before we fell to show everyone that this massive shakeout was encompassed by this even smaller candle with even greater volume. So there was a lot of power in that volume, enough to punch through the floor. And I told you we were going to hit the floor approximately a few times. Okay, there was going to be one here, one here, one here. And this floor was just getting weaker and weaker, weaker. Okay, from our last video, I showed you that this floor was basically almost non-existent. Okay, so imagine you have some strong fat men jumping up in a giant room with an old wooden floor. The first time the floor starts cracking, and then they jump higher, and then it cracks a little further deeper, and then they jump just a little bit higher. Then they jump again, and then all of a sudden you get one last powerful jump, and that powerful jump is enough to crack through the floor. When you saw that, boom, we went immediately to the lower floor. Okay, if you may be trading with like a 15-minute candle, and that looked like this to you guys, and you were probably saying, "What the heck is happening?" Well, this was already set up again from our 4-hour chart. Okay, so you don't have to worry about that. Okay, now, in today, I called in the middle of the night. I woke up and I called the signal here in our chart room. Okay, and the reason I call that signal is because we're going up on almost no demand. Look at the volume. Look at the volume. It's very, very low. How can we be having such low volume? Okay, if we're really going up. Somebody took their foot off the gas and we're coasting up. That tells us that we really should be going down. It's only a matter of time. We just need to test this area. And so we have two reasons. We have the volume spread analysis telling us, hey, there's no gas here. Okay, volume's going down with no buyers. The buyers have left the building, and so do you think we're really going to punch through this line and through this, guys? No, that's ridiculous. Look, read the story. We have major bounce here, major bounce here, major bounce here. So you got 1, 2, 3 levels of strength coming in, and no gas. Friends, wake up and smell the crayons. Guys, this is easy to see. This shouldn't surprise anyone when I make a call and I say, "Hey, we're going down here. We're going down." You guys should not be surprised at all. This story is unfolding in your very eyes. And if you know how to read a chart, you're not going to be concerned so much about the news because the chart is the raw data telling you what's happening. Okay? Again, bounce up, bounce up, bounce up. These are floors, guys. These floors that are now we broke through are now become the ceiling. So now those guys, those fat men, fell through the floor, and now they're trying to jump up and they're going to bump their heads on these things. And if we're going to break up, we'd have to touch it almost 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Will we hit that? Well, I don't think so. Okay, and the reasons I don't think so is because of what is happening right now. So let's take a look. If I draw these tops, I need to turn off volume for a second. Oh no, I don't. If I were to just draw from core to core a trend line, so you take a trend line, okay, and I'm drawing from the bottom of here to the very bottoms of here, and you draw that, okay, and then what you do is you extend that in the pain point, and this is the sword method, okay, and you draw it in orange. We now have a point from which to draw the sword method. It's this area. When price comes into that area, we're watching what it will do. Okay, that's the point we're watching. This is the sword method. Okay, this is the secret that's going to make you a very successful trader. Okay, this is I spent years figuring this out. Okay, years figuring this out, and no one taught it to me. I believe that it was given to me by the Lord to help position people to understand financial markets. Okay, this is how I'm so successful. I draw these types of lines all the time, and I'm very successful. And the way you read it is you can read it in conjunction with volume spread analysis. Okay, so in our chart room a little while ago, I told everybody I didn't place an arrow here, but I'll place it now here so you guys can see. Okay, so live. In our chart room, I told everybody in 27 minutes there would be a confirmation yes or no. And then I told everybody I'm going to make a YouTube video. And then right before I did, I told everybody we have a confirmation, and it was at this candle. So you can go to our chart room. If you don't believe me, on why right here is the top, and people are saying why? Well, this is why. Okay, so I'm deleting this before people start catching whys of my methods. Okay, let's read the volume and see what happens. Let's see if I can zoom in. This volume is very low to see. Okay, so look at the volume. We have an up candle on low volume, ultra low, and then we go higher on even lower volume with the spread coming down, closing in the middle. And then finally, the next bar up is also a candle on volume, but the volume is now increased, yet the spread we closed right in the middle. What does this tell me? That tells me that this volume that you see is actually selling. Okay, so that's our first sign of selling. Okay, that's our first sign that selling has came in the market. And if you don't know how to read volume spread analysis and you want to learn, I recommend the group Trade Guider. Okay, I'm not an affiliate with them. I'm not sponsored by them, but I took time to read books from them. I even had software from them from time to time to learn how to read volume spread analysis. Now, you don't need software to read volume spread analysis. You'll get the hang of it. But it's like learning the language of a volume on a chart. And when you use that in combination of technical analysis, your whatever technical analysis you're using, you're going to be you're going to be 10 times or 100 times more successful trader, okay? Because I'm looking at certain points and saying, hey, what is the candles telling me there? What is the chart telling me at those points? Okay, so this is the point I'm looking for, and that's what I'm choosing to read, these volume spread analysis. So I see a wide candle with a spread closing near the bottom, selling on higher volume. So that tells me selling came into this, and the next bar would be some kind of confirmation. And what do we see? We see that price was actually higher, even though it's a red candle, price was actually closed higher and came back down. So two parts, another selling pressure coming down into this area on ultra low volume. I mean, look at this volume, guys. Look at the volume. It's like almost nothing. So what does this tell me? It tells me that the party's over. All this buying is done. What do we immediately expect? For a confirmation, if you wanted a confirmation from that, we'd expect a down bar on higher volume. Right now, we have 18 minutes and 25, 28, 27, 26 seconds left. We still have low volume, but we still have 18 minutes left to go. If that volume is even just halfway through or higher, I'm going to be assuming that either one or two things, that there's just no demand and price can either drift or retest again, and it could even retest up here for just half a second, but there's still two more lines that have not been exhausted. We've only exhausted one bounce. So there's one bounce, two bounce, three bounce. We hit up once. Okay, so that's one bounce. We could very well hit another bounce and just come right back down. But even if we have to hit it twice more, or with a strength, a force strong enough to jump right through the ceiling and sit up again on the ceiling and then we'd be in these areas. We'd have to come up, sit in these areas. Okay. The only support I'm seeing here, guys, that even if it was, is if we extended these lines down to where they are, and that would be around here, price would have to break up and come and do something like this. I'll show you. It'd have to break up, come sit on this floor here, and then price can go up. But it has to come up high with the wide swing and do that. But usually it only does that on flat surfaces when they intersect. The only flat surface is way up here, so that means that price would have to come way up here and into this area, and then spike down like that. This is not likely. Okay, that's the kind of stuff that needs to happen. But what is your data telling you? The data telling you is that no, we are underneath this with no strength. So what do you think is going to happen, my friends? Okay, I've been watching charts a long time, and I'm telling you, it's very unlikely. We would need that kind of thing. Otherwise, what's going to happen is this trend line is just going to continue out. And it's going to continue. And price now has so much room to play and fall down. Okay, so how far are we going? So I hope you guys are learning something with me. I hope I'm not being too redundant, taking too much time to show you these kinds of things. I really want everyone to understand what is actually happening. This isn't really a tutorial video, but I am kind of reading the price for you. Okay, I'm reading the chart map, and if I'm like at the helm of a big ship, and you guys are, and I'm navigating, to get us the best prices as we watch price fall. Okay, XRP is like this river, and you can either stop and make camp, but I'm telling you the best prices to rest are, again at 58.88. But now I'm actually showing you how we're going to go to 52 cents range. Okay, so there's 2 points. So let's do that. I'm gonna turn on a weekly chart. Okay, this is moon launch right here. Okay, this is moon launch. After that, we're going to the moon and beyond. Okay, but for right now, we're on our way down, and I'm gonna show you where the rest stop is. It's here. If you were to take, let's see, turn off our volume. If you were to take the tops, okay, if I were to draw a trend line from core to core on the weekly chart, from this point to this point, and you extend that line and you make it, okay, accurate. Always be accurate with your trend lines. This is now a weekly solid support line. This is a very powerful support. Okay, very, very powerful. The last time that we hit into this range, you see these three arrows here? That was a while back. But what happened? Price came through this area and immediately shot back up. Okay, look at that spike on there. This is ridiculous volume. I mean, the ridiculous power. Price came all the way down to here, and then it just went right back up. There is power at this area, and the reason is because these are weeks worth of buyers and sellers. Oops, sorry. And weeks worth of buyers and sellers at those areas. Okay? Price was rejected off of that area for whatever reason. We don't know. We don't care. We just need to know historically that it happened. Price came down at that area. Again, why? We don't know, but that's where it hard closed on. So we mark that point. You draw that point. If you're following along at home, you're going to draw that point, and then you connect the dots. Got it? Okay? Now, what next? Now you just simply go back to a daily chart, and then you see what happens next. Okay, what is on a daily chart? Well, go back to that area, and then you draw again. Okay, if I were to draw the trend line, core to core, this point, okay? That point right there, core to core, not wick to wick. You're not drawing the little these up here. You can draw those, but you need to draw wick to wick if you do draw those. Right now, I'm not drawing those because we already had success with those in the past. Now the next success is going to be the I'll show you. Look, look, look. Okay, so you see how I hit that exactly, or pretty close. You want to be as close as you can, and that's going to give you the most accurate numbers. Now, let's draw this a different color. Let's make this the purple. Now, what happened when when the weekly and the daily intersected? Price was drawn there. Remember, I told you guys how price is, when you see those, price acts like a magnet. So this is a daily chart. Okay, this was the first crash, and this is how we knew to buy, and that was the bottom. Okay, so when I was telling everybody, hey guys, XRP is gonna fall, okay, what are we expecting price to fall at to? Well, we're expecting price to fall to these intersection points. Okay, look at that. And neat? Isn't that neat? See? You guys don't have to be a failure when you're trading. You can be very successful. Okay? You can't control price, but you can control yourself. You can learn to understand how to draw. You can learn my sword methods, and you're going to be a very more successful trader. Okay? Now, price bounced off of those areas, and those yet those lines still continue. Now, if you draw your line too short, you can always just, and you don't know how to extend it without changing the angle, you can always click clone and then just overlap the line if you want. I do that a lot too. Okay, so now price bounced here once, but this is a dynamic line, so I can't just say, oh yeah, price is coming to 44 cents again. No, look at if you look where it's at now, if price were to fall tonight or right now this very day, the line would be 53.04 cents. If it's tomorrow, it would be 52.85, and so forth and so on, down to 50 cents, depending on what I call speed. Okay, so when you hear me talking about speed, this is exactly what I mean. Okay, that's what I mean by speed. Okay, so what I expect price to actually do is, since price already came and hit this 55.1, we're actually going to fade this line out because it's losing its strength. This line is becoming exhausted. We're still looking at a daily chart, but price could come up here and hit it and come back up, and as I showed in my chart pictures in the chart room. But what I expect is price to come down to where it should come down. And depending on the day it hits, it will come down, hit 52, and then it's going to come right back up and hard close there. I've seen this countless times. When you see two lines that are pretty close like this, and you see a heavy crash, I will be doing a video. When it hits this, you're gonna laugh because I'm gonna say, hey, I told you guys how it looks. It's gonna come down here, you're gonna spike, and you're gonna see the wick hit the bottom, and then before the end of that hour, it's gonna come, just like we did in the last chart. In the last week's video. Not last week. Sorry, 2 days ago's video. Okay, the last video. I told you guys. I said, watch. You're gonna see price come up here, and I said I wouldn't be surprised if price closes right at those levels. And sure enough, look at that. Right underneath that. Remember, price went up and then hard close underneath that. Well, I'm telling you now again, you're gonna see that happening. Okay, so we're having weakness in the background. We're having no strength. Okay, this candle here, I want to point something out as a clarification for people who are new to understanding price action. Okay, if this candle looked like this only, oof, okay, I'm gonna have to draw very large. I'm gonna draw it here off to the side. If the candle looked like this, that's called a hanging man. But when it has a high wick up here, that's a shakeout. Look at this. See that high wick up here? Look at this wick way up here and then way down there. That's a shakeout, guys. That means that whatever price was doing in the beginning, it's going to continue doing after it's over. And I showed you that, okay? According to our projections, that's why price is going to fall, in my opinion, okay? Which is not financial advice and not to be taken seriously. Remember, Those red crayons, very tasty. Okay. And I especially say this for YouTube land if you don't understand what I'm talking about. just put two and two together. Why we're going down to 52. So I hope everyone learned something today. For this section's over, we'll go right into Bitcoin. Okay, Bitcoin. Okay, we made a lot of calls. Well, there's a lot of danger zones into the future. We called it here in our last Bitcoin videos and Bitcoin calls. I told us that we're going down to this range, but I actually believe we're going down to this range because of projections. 28,000. 487 is the next stop along the way. Actually, it's going to be about there. Okay, that's where I believe we're going. The reason I don't believe we're actually going to core is because we've already hit this core here and we barely went up. We came right back down, then went right up, and then we came back down. So these cores are not holding. The next core is here, and even if we bounce a little bit, I don't believe we're going to hold. So what I showed in our chart room is that a price should actually do something like this. Price should come down, bounce, 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 and then continue. Okay, so again, price can get caught, and I'm expecting price to get caught in 30,716 down to 30,407, and then it should continue its crash, provided we don't have some kind of emergency event that stops all trading, or some kind of blackout event, or some kind of overnight reset at that time. If so, then we would go straight down with Bitcoin. Okay, and I don't believe we'll ever return. However, XRP will absolutely moon launch because of everything. And if you don't understand, you need to follow the XRP community to find out what XRP actually is and what it's doing. Okay, so we are going down to this area, but really that's just for a little support. We may find some support here, bounce and come. My projection for Bitcoin, again, doing the math, okay? If you haven't seen already, I'm gonna just do it quickly again to show you. You take the last leg, okay? We're gonna take that last leg. Let's just make it magenta. I'm gonna make it very thick. I'm going to unfade it so you can see clearly. I'm going to take that line, I'm going to duplicate that line, and we're bringing it to the underside of the swing. Okay, so let's go back up on when all of it was over. And I believe that was here. Okay, all of that data. And just like in the last videos, I showed you guys all of this, one section, weakness, points to this area. Okay, so this is where I'm beginning my projection. Now, if you take that, this was all market deciding if it's going to win or it's going to lose, if the bears are going to win or if the bulls are going to lose. This told us all you needed to know. This was telling us all these bullish signals in the end, so it told us who was going to win. It told us the bears were going to win. And then we saw the bounce come down and the signal come up right at the sword method, okay? And this tells us this was done. So then we continue what we were going to do in the beginning, and we continue here. You can also continue here at the top of that, but I'm just showing you here is where I'm showing. Okay, and what this does is you follow that line all the way down, it's getting us towards this area here, 3,880. If you were being conservative and you said, well, let's just do it at the top here, that gives us around 5,330, okay? And then if you're being ultra conservative and you move this to the top here, up here at the very, very top, which some people do, we're hitting $7,347. Okay, so Bitcoin is going to be going to those areas, and this is just chart math. Okay, you need to understand what is actually happening with Bitcoin. Okay, you need to understand that this area does not show the strength. Okay, this area does not show the strength to change all of this shakeout area. Okay, this area. This is a distribution. Okay, and then we're going down. Okay, this is all the movement happening. Okay, and that little area again is not enough to change this. Okay, this was my call on Bitcoin here. Okay, I was telling everybody, hey, guys, wake up and smell the crayons. Look, all of this is over. Up, down, up, down, up, down. Okay, and then what did we see? Price came down, swing up to the sort area. We examined this area and we definitely saw it was weak. So I was telling everybody, exit now. You need to get out of Bitcoin at 5650. What is this area? 56,000, 59,000. That area. This is done. There's no more. Okay, the party's over. The big boys have left. The institutional, major financial institutions have left. And that was in May 10th when I posted that in the chat room I was originally part of. I archived those and they are date and timestamp, so you can go ahead and take a look at my Telegram and pull up a picture of those. Okay, and you'll see how I made that call. Okay, and I know this is really shocking because you just hear gurus telling us, "Oh, we're going to go to the moon with Bitcoin." No, no, there's a lot of reasons why, and just if you even if you didn't know all of those reasons, you just follow the actual data of the charts, guys. I'm telling you how to read a chart. Okay, so now I showed you again how all of this, we see that all of this is done. Okay, all of this was done. Okay, and then now all of this is done. So what's next? What's next is the continuation. So you take your projections and you can put them down. I'm sorry, I'm taking my projections from when this is over and I'm putting them down. I guess you could be ultra conservative here, even ultra conservative, but I wouldn't bet on it that we may hit 11,000. But again, I understand what's happening behind the scenes and why I think we're going to absolutely surpass those areas. So I'll note it for people if you're for the next video, so you can see. You say no, it's only going to go to 11,000. Some of you are all and still living in La La Land that we're going to the moon with Bitcoin. You need to understand how to read. Okay, I'm telling you guys, this is right in front of your faces. You need to see what is the chart. The charts are speaking to you. They're always trying to tell us. They don't hide their intentions. It's you. You have to learn how to understand the language of a chart, and that's going to make you see the truth on what's actually happening. Is price weak? Is price strong? Is price weak? Is price strong? You need to be asking yourself that every day. Okay, so I care about all of you guys. I want you to be successful. I want you to be good traders. I want you to not be in foolish investments. Remember, guys, if everyone in the world adopted Bitcoin tomorrow and said, "Well, we're going to use Bitcoin for, for the monetary systems," which the IMF said we will absolutely not use Bitcoin. They already told us. The World Banks already told us we will not be using Bitcoin. But even if they did, there's not enough electricity in all of the world to provide for Bitcoin. And the other thing about Bitcoin, so to have that kind of system, if Swift tomorrow, when you're swiping your card, you're using Swift network. When you're paying somebody cash electronically, you're paying Swift network. But Swift is not equipped to use Bitcoin or to adopt it as a major currency. The other thing is that, again, the more expensive Bitcoin gets, the more costly it gets. Okay, when Bitcoin was at $56,000, a cup of coffee paid for with Bitcoin cost you $50. That's ridiculous. That's insane. That's who it would ever use something like that. And the banks, these Bitcoins are having these huge Bitcoin maxi meetings, that Bitcoin conference, 2021. Everybody's woohoo, Bitcoin to the moon. Okay, you need to see the truth. Who's showing up at those? Okay, the banks, the IMF, all the world market leaders, they're all on Ripple's team. They're all meeting privately in Ripple, and it's all on their websites. It's all on, Swift partnered with Ripple, the U.S. Federal Reserve, the Treasury, Rosie Rios. She is the woman who signs your dollar bills, guys. She's on Ripple's team. Mastercard is on Ripple's team. Amazon's even on Ripple team. There's a lot of people who have partnered with Ripple. Ripple is the XRP currency. Okay, so you need to understand that it is just the fundamentals alone make it almost impossible, because if Bitcoin were to hit $100,000, how in the world are you supposed to do everyday transactions, and everyone's going to suddenly adopt a transaction just to send money? It's going to cost you $100. You guys, you're living in a dream world. If you think we're going to hit those numbers using the system, okay, the creators of Bitcoin are the creators of XRP. Bitcoin was a test. XRP is the final product. XRP is 57,000 times more electricity efficient than Bitcoin. 57,000 according to their websites, okay, according to their interviews. And the cost to do a transaction, 0.0008 of a cent. You want to buy a cup of coffee? It's cheaper than using your credit card, because your bank is not paying as much. So the banks are going to want to use that. And world banks have already adopted. The main thing is that every country in the world is already adopting a digital version of their dollar. They call them CBDCs, central bank digital currencies. We're talking France, America, China. Every country is turning their own paper money into a digital version of itself. But they need a network to operate off of that. That's trillions of dollars. And you know what they did? They chose XRP. They chose Ripple's network, and Ripple uses XRP. It converts their dollars into XRP, and the liquidity, they call it on-demand liquidity. If you do not know what I'm talking about, you need to do your homework on XRP. When people are saying, hey, you need to hold XRP, we're not just talking about, the XRP club. No, this is not the XRP club. This is the facts. This is right in front of you. What is happening with money? What is happening with the monetary system? It's moving to a digital version of itself and a digital network. What is the name of that network? It's the Ripple network. It's it's a new type of network that's connecting the whole world, and it sends money in less than 3 seconds. On Bitcoin's current blockchain network, as we know it, it still takes, what is that? I think at least 30 minutes. And now XRP is 3 seconds. So you're talking about what I called a love bug to a Ferrari, or as McAfee said, I think it was like a Model T Ford, which is one of those old cars that were from the very first cars that were ever invented, compared to a modern day Ferrari. So there is a lot to really consider when it comes to understanding that XRP is waiting for an activation. They're waiting for a flip of the switch. Personally, I believe it's the 28th. There's a lot of dates floating around there. You may want to follow the XRP community. It could be anytime. It could be tonight. It could be really soon. But my personal opinion is that we have until approximately to 27th, 28th into that weekend. So I'm hoping we hit 25 cents on XRP before then. And I hope you are blessed. Thank you for watching this content. Please like the video if you like it. You can subscribe. If you want to contact our chart room, just follow the link in the description. We'd love to have you. I care about every single one of you. Especially all of our team there. Just a bunch of wonderful people. Who are like-minded individuals. They understand what's happening in the XRP community. And a lot of people, who are just even just buying and holding and wanting to see what's happening with their investments, for the day. And I hope that you'll have much success. Remember, friends, place your faith and trust in the Lord Jesus Christ. He will never leave you. He will never forsake you. He offers you the gift of eternal life and riches well beyond what XRP could ever do. And I wanted to bless you with that. In our next videos, we'll talk again. What about my projections about how high we are actually going to XRP and why? I've talked about that in the chat room. I'll also be covering again some of the other chat room questions that people have submitted to me. I've taking some screenshots and my responses. And then also I want to be reading you. I got permission from our chart room members to share some prophetic dreams that a few of the members have, and some have collected. I had two members that had dreams, they believe are very prophetic in nature and what's happening. And they said, I asked them for permission if I can share that. So I'll be sharing that in an upcoming video. Have a great Saturday. Enjoy, and I'll look forward to you next time. Bye bye.